Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions.
Namaste y bienvenidos, amados poderosos compañeros.
When you speak what Jesus tells you, you are celebrating the infinite nature that you are.
Cuando hablas lo que Jesús te guía, estás celebrando lo que tú eres.
You're referring back to infinite. All that you are is given by God and then celebrating that.
Es celebrar todo lo que es dado por el Padre.
So this is really where we have all these Jesuses, all the ones that are devoted to truth, coming to share their direct experience of hearing the voice and speaking the voice.
Y por eso es que tenemos a estos compañeros que son tan devotos a la verdad, que vienen a escuchar y hablar la voz de Dios.
And so we're just practicing. We're getting our Jesus training wheels on. There's no judgment here. There's just an invitation to listen deeply and then share what you're learning from Jesus about miracles.
Y es alinearnos con Jesús para aprender qué son los milagros.
The gift that's given to partner with Him, to have Him show us where we're denying all the love of the Father.
Y lo hermoso que es tener una relación con Él, donde Él nos muestra dónde nos estamos negando todo el amor del Padre.
One of the most important teachings of Course in Miracles that's overlooked, but we're turning in and we're looking directly at that one.
Y una de las grandes enseñanzas del curso es ir y mirar.
And we're practicing exactly what the Course says.
Y nosotros estamos practicando exactamente como el curso dice.
Okay? I'm in charge of miracles. Ask me.
Yo estoy a cargo de los milagros, pregúntame.
Do not make it real.
No lo hagas real.
Join with me in a moment of light.
Únete a mí en un momento de luz.
So we come together and focus on infinite, and then we're guided out of delusion.
Y venimos aquí para enfocarnos en lo infinito y terminar el engaño.
And we're learning what our role is in the atonement.
Y estamos aprendiendo cuál es nuestro rol en la expiación.
To just be willing to see that we're delusional.
Darnos cuenta que somos engañables.
So with that, I'm going to open up.
Y con esto voy a abrir.
And just really, encourage everyone, if you're willing, to just shine your beautiful presence here with your video.
Y les invitamos a todos a que brillen su luz abriendo los videos.
And we had some questions. I'll just ask questions to get everyone started if anyone would want to share. But it's truly from the heart. We're a demonstration.
Y vamos a hacer unas preguntas y para que compartan desde el corazón, porque esto es una demostración.
To teach is to demonstrate. We're demonstrating what the voice is teaching us. That's the Course in Miracles.
Y esta es la demostración de qué voz estamos hablando y esa es la enseñanza del curso.
So would anyone care to share, start off and just share, what are you learning from Jesus about miracles and accepting the correction?
Y entonces, ¿quién está invitado a compartir qué ha aprendido de los milagros?
I can share.
Thank you, Josie. Let's see if I can get you on screen here. Oh, there you are. Okay.
What he's been teaching me recently.
Okay. Just remember to pause so that so Maria can translate. Okay? Yeah, thank you, Josie.
Entonces, Kay les está recordando que es importante pausar para hacer la traducción.
one main thing that he's been teaching me lately is the speed at which miracles will be given.
Una cosa de las que me ha estado enseñando Jesús es cuáles son los milagros que son dados, como realizados.
I had it backwards and I was deliberating and hovering over and trying to work out the denial and work within the illusion and the delusions.
Y yo estaba como dudando porque en este tema de el engaño,
Instead of the second that I felt miracle impulse, the miracle was there to be given. Instead of grabbing onto it, I was dwelling in the denial.
en lugar que los milagros son dados, que en lugar de quedarme en la negación, es como que los milagros son dados, que no los puede realizar ella.
When he showed me to flip that around and take the miracle as soon as I felt it was there, it changed everything for me.
Y cuando yo cambié esto y me di cuenta que el milagro estaba ahí, todo cambió.
And I didn't really care much about the denial then because the miracle was so much better.
Y ahora no me preocupo tanto acerca de la negación porque los milagros son mucho mejor.
Thank you.
Gracias.
That's so beautiful. Thank you. That's wonderful. Okay.
Eso es muy, muy hermoso. Gracias, gracias.
You know, it's hard to realize that the miracle's just us for us to dare to get it.
Kay, we cannot hear you very well.
That's such a great way. It's so great that to what you've seen, that you just grab your miracle, it's yours. Grab your
Eso es maravilloso que te des cuenta de esto. Simplemente es obtente un milagro que ahí está.
Thank you, Josie.
Gracias, Josie.
If more comes, you can share. We're all listening really carefully.
Si viene algo más, pues estamos listos, atentos a escucharte.
Okay, I think Lena's going to share.
Parece que Lina va a compartir.
Bueno, estoy viendo que hay varias preguntas.
We have many questions.
¿Qué has aprendido sobre lo que necesitas para que ocurran los milagros?
Tenemos eco. ¿Sí te das cuenta que hay eco?
¿No?
We have echo. Okay, we have echo.
No, amor, aquí no.
Yeah,
¿Los demás escuchan eco?
we don't hear an echo.
Sí, se escucha eco.
Yes. Vamos a probar.
Okay, so when you translate, Maria, we'll just turn off our microphone and see if that helps.
Okay. Listo.
Because
Dale.
we can't hear them. We can't hear that.
Okay. Dale. Okay.
¿Qué has aprendido sobre lo que se necesita para que ocurran los milagros?
What have you learned from Jesus about why he guides all miracles? ¿Es la primera, Evangelina? ¿La primera pregunta? ¿Cuál?
No, she's just picking out one of the questions that I
Sí.
sent earlier.
Ok, pero ¿cuál pregunta escogiste? ¿Cuál
Es la
estás?
sexta.
¿La qué?
Sexta.
It's in the text that I sent earlier to everyone.
¿Cuál es? Repítemela, Angelina.
¿Qué has aprendido sobre lo que se necesita para que ocurran los milagros?
Why is it necessary to follow Jesus for miracles? Why is he in charge of miracles?
Ok.
Okay, Nina.
Y bueno, lo que yo he aprendido es que necesito voluntad y determinación.
What I have learned from Jesus is that I need need willingness and determination,
Y también un grado de humildad.
and a lot of humility.
Porque por mucho que venga el deseo que todavía está activo aquí en la mente,
Por más que qué?
por mucho que venga y se active la mente reactiva del ego, porque está un deseo aquí presente,
Mira, se escucha demasiado eco. Yo estoy escuchando dos voces. I cannot hear very well. We have echo when Evangelina is talking. We have.
Okay, just hold on. Let me see if I can switch something that will make this better.
Okay.
¿continúo?
No,
No.
un momento, por favor. Is that better, Maria?
Yes.
Is
Yes,
this
it is.
okay? Now we can go. Go for God.
Sí. Yes. Vamos por Dios.
Ajá, lo que he podido aprender para que ocurran los milagros
What I have learned to is required to perform miracles
es la determinación y la voluntad de decirle a Jesús, ayúdame.
is the determination and willingness to say, Jesus, help me.
Porque puedo tener activo en la mente un deseo,
Because I can have in my mind an active desire,
por ejemplo, el deseo de perder el control y se activa la rabia.
and for example, the desire for control, and I can see that rage is activated.
Y si yo tengo la voluntad y la determinación, Jesús me da un milagro.
But if I have the willingness and determination, Jesus can give me a miracle.
¿Qué
Dame el
ha
número.
hecho que algún...
¿Qué
Ajá, ¿qué
número es
hace
ese?
que...
¿Qué número es? ¿Qué pregunta es?
La sexta, ¿qué hace que algunos milagros parezcan
Okay.
más o menos difíciles?
What makes some miracles seems more difficult or less?
Y para mi experiencia, lo que me ha mostrado Jesús es en lo profundo que está el deseo en la mente subconsciente.
What Jesus had shown me is that some desires are deeper in the unconscious mind.
Sí, tengo mucho disfrute y hay que hacer varias miradas para aceptar el milagro en ese deseo. A mí me
And,
parece.
and if I have a lot of relation on a desire, and I need to go deeper. ¿Qué pasa?
Para mí eso implica más complicado porque cuando hay un deseo rápido,
Yeah, that for me is a little more difficult because when I can see that I can have some desire more less difficult.
y otra cosa que también he aprendido es que
And another thing that I have learned
cuando el deseo de la experiencia es un patrón muy arraigado en mi mente,
when the desire for the experience is a pattern that is very deep in my mind,
eso aparentemente parece que requiere muchísimo mirar y es más difícil de llegar al milagro.
and it seems like I have to look and look, and it's sometimes more difficult to get the miracle.
Esa es mi experiencia.
That is my experience.
Y bueno, podría hablar de varias preguntas que hace aquí. No sé si es apropiado.
I can talk about other questions, but I don't know if it's okay or not.
Well, why don't you, we'll do a rotation. If there's more time, you can certainly speak more. These are important things for everyone to share their experience.
Vamos a hacer una rotación y si más hay tiempo, puedes compartir más de tus experiencias que son importantes.
Okay.
Okay, no, it's good. It's really good, this willingness.
Es muy importante, muy bueno esta voluntad.
Okay. So when Jesus, that's really why Jesus is there to help us. But when he's showing us, if the miracle's not coming quickly, he's going to show us where heaven and hell is upside down in the mind.
Cuando los milagros no llegan rápidamente, Jesús nos muestra dónde tenemos el cielo y el infierno invertidos.
But Elena's pointing to something really important for all of us, and that is there can be a tremendous amount of, remember, our miracle constipation is tension.
Elena nos está apuntando aquí a un tema muy importante, que recuerden que cuando no se obtienen milagros el estreñimiento de milagros es tensión.
Okay. And so we're holding on to, that's where all the effort is the holding on. If we just relax and go willing, then the love is just here.
Es que estamos agarrados de esto, pero si nos relajamos, nos damos cuenta que el amor está aquí.
So she's pointing to how, as you go deeper in the mind, there's can be a lot of releasing needed. But it's good.
Y si tú quieres ir profundo en la mente, se requiere mucho liberar, pero es muy bueno.
So you might, again, we've talked about this before, you might get several little miracles along the way to try to get to the deepest of the deepest hidden desire down there.
Y como ya lo hemos conversado, podemos obtener milagros y milagros durante el camino hasta que lleguemos a lo profundo del deseo.
So does anyone else have something they'd like to share about what Jesus is teaching you?
¿Hay alguien más que quiera compartir lo que Jesús les está enseñando?
Okay, Mary's going to share.
I love coming in like a heart.
Me gusta venir estar en este corazón.
So what Jesus has been teaching me about miracles is that there's no doing involved. I'm not doing anything.
Lo que Jesús me está enseñando en los milagros es que no está envuelto el hacer, que no hay nada que hacer.
The Mary mind wants to figure everything out, explain it, try to understand it.
Y
No.
el personaje de Mary quiere imaginarse cómo es explicarlo y no.
He had to bring me to a point where I let go of all the noise.
Y él me trae al punto donde debo dejar ir todo el ruido.
And he showed me an image that has just helped me so much.
Y él me mostró una imagen que me ayuda mucho.
And that was an image of like coming to a point where there was nothing else except, am I willing to accept a miracle on this desire?
Es un punto donde no hay nada más, simplemente este punto. Y dice, ¿estoy dispuesto a aceptar este milagro?
And when I allow him to take me to that point,
Y cuando yo le permito a él que me lleve a ese punto,
then there's no question that I'm accepting the miracle.
entonces no hay preguntas en la aceptación del milagro.
Everything else falls away.
Todo se cae.
And the second thing he's prompting me to talk about
Y la segunda cosa que él me está guiando a compartir es,
and that how has your relationship with Jesus changed now that you're collaborating with him on miracles?
¿cómo ha cambiado tu relación con Jesús ahora con el tema de los milagros?
Until I got to the point where I was really willing to give up all of Mary and all her noise.
Hasta llevarme al punto donde Mary deja todo este ruido.
Or rather than give up, see it as valueless, no value.
Y ver que no tiene valor.
I couldn't trust him.
No podía confiar en él.
I couldn't turn over. I couldn't, I had a little bit of willingness and then say, Jesus, you do everything else. You do the heavy lifting.
Es como que yo tenía un poquito de voluntad, pero yo le dije, Jesús, haz el trabajo duro tú.
And now that there is a growing trust and confidence that Jesus is totally fulfilling his function with me.
Y ahora hay una total confianza que Jesús está cumpliendo su función conmigo.
There are experiences that he's building with me.
Él ha estado construyendo unas experiencias conmigo
To really see that I can trust him.
Para que yo vea que en verdad puedo confiar en él.
Not only can I trust him, but it is so much, there's so much more there than I ever anticipated.
Y no solo que pueda confiar en él, sino que hay mucho más de lo que yo pueda anticipar.
There's so much ease, there's so much comfort.
Hay mucho ser, hay mucho confort.
Simplicity.
Simplicidad.
Oh, and we use the word love, and I hesitate to use that word because I thought I knew what it meant and I realize I do not.
Y mucho amor, pero no me gusta usar esa palabra porque, what do you mean?
Well, I hesitate to use the word love because I used to think I know what that word meant.
Y que ella duda en usar la palabra amor porque no es lo que ella pensaba que es la definición de amor.
And what he's been showing me is that, let's see if I can describe it. What he's been showing me is that there is a total communion available.
Y lo que me ha estado mostrando es que hay una total comunión disponible.
Where Mary has disappeared.
donde Mary desaparece, ha desaparecido.
And all that's present
Y todo lo que hay es presencia.
is this communion.
Eso es comunión.
So I've said this to Kay many times, this is not what I thought it was going to be. It's so much better, so much more profound, so much deeper than anything I had experienced before.
Y como le he dicho varias veces a Kay, esto no es lo que yo pensé que iba a ser. Esto es mucho más profundo. More deeper, Ana?
Deeper, more profound.
Y más profundo de lo que yo llegué alguna vez a imaginarme que era.
Let's see. And out of that then has come more willingness to turn over everything that's coming up, but I feel like I am definitely a work in progress.
Y todo esto me ha llevado a tener más voluntad. Sin embargo, siento que hoy estoy en un trabajo en proceso.
To trust that it's okay to be wrong.
De confiar y de darme cuenta que está bien estar equivocado,
It's okay to be corrected,
que está bien ser corregido,
because what's underneath that
porque lo que hay debajo de ello
is everything my heart has been looking for.
es todo lo que mi corazón ha estado buscando.
Thank you.
Oh, beautiful.
Gracias, hermoso.
Wow. So beautiful what comes from our brother. And willing.
Muy hermoso lo que viene de nuestros hermanos, la voluntad.
And the willingness
Y la voluntad
is everything.
lo es todo.
So anyone else want to share what you're learning about miracles from Jesus?
¿Alguien más quiere compartir qué ha venido aprendiendo acerca de los milagros con Jesús?
Hi, Andy. I spotlight you.
Hey, everybody.
Hola a todos.
Well, this will be interesting. I have no idea what I'm going to say here.
Es interesante porque no tengo idea de lo que voy a decir aquí.
But, you know, I've been learning that what I'm perceiving is my mind that's inside, upside down, and backwards.
Lo que he aprendido es que mi mente está invertida y al revés.
And I'm getting many experiences where I'm hearing, that's not the reason why. You've got to look inside.
Y muchas experiencias donde donde me lleva a mirar al interior.
And so there's been a deepening of, or a correction of true cause and effect.
Y ha sido una profunda corrección de la causa y el efecto.
In addition, he's talking to me a lot about mind wandering.
Y adicionalmente me ha estado hablando muchísimo de la divagación mental.
And it was so beautiful what Mary said. He was saying a lot of what she shared as well to me.
Y lo que me había dicho me toca mucho a mí.
He says the miracle is like my scalpel, which is like a very sharp surgical tool.
Dice que Mary dice que los milagros son como una cosa de cirugía muy exacta.
And he says, like, on the razor's edge of the scalpel, we sit outside of time and space to see what's true.
Y que nos lleva fuera del tiempo y del espacio para ver lo que es verdad.
And you let me do all the work. You just be the patient on the operating table.
Tú tan solo tienes que ser el paciente en la mesa de operaciones.
You have to be willing to lay down, no, to attend the operation, to lay down on the whatever, the surgical table. That's it.
Simplemente estar dispuesto a estar en la mesa de cirugía.
No other contributions necessary.
Ninguna otra contribución es necesaria.
Which is very humbling for someone who has a very animated analytical mind.
Y esto es muy humilde para una persona que tiene una mente analítica.
The other thing, in a deeper way, looking at mind wandering, he's also showing me
Y de otra manera, mirando el tema de la divagación mental que él me ha estado mostrando,
that the miracle has been accepted. There's a deep stillness. The answer is here.
cuando los milagros sean aceptados, es el hecho de que el milagro está aquí, algo, ¿sí? La demostración de que el milagro está aquí.
There's this subtle attention that goes on. Well, what if this isn't really true? Start trying to, well, in this case, that's not true.
Es como darte cuenta que poco a poco que nada de esto es verdad.
So yes, he's just constantly having me rinse and repeat this desire for projection and false cause and effect.
Y mirar constantemente este deseo de proyección y de causa y efecto.
He says, I'm giving you infinity and the answer and eternity, but you bring us back into death.
Y él me dice, no, te estoy dando la infinitud y tú quieres volver a la muerte.
So similarly to Mary, I'm a work in progress, but willing.
Y como Mary, yo soy una persona que está en proceso, pero con voluntad.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Andy. Thank you.
Eso es hermoso, Andy. Gracias.
Does anyone else? I think I might have froze. We might have froze our camera.
Parece que la cámara de Kay se congeló. Entonces, ¿alguien más? Pregunta.
Yeah, that's a great view. Let's see. Yeah, maybe nothing we can do about it.
Parece que no hay nada que se pueda hacer, dice Kay.
Wow. Okay. Well, our camera may be frozen for this session, but that's, let me see. Could collab cam come up? Oh, we got collab cam. Here, let me do this. Okay. Share cam will come up. Let's see. There we go. Okay. We'll have a little partial share there. Oh, that one freezes too. Okay. All right. Let's see. Would anyone else like to share?
¿Alguien más quiere compartir?
Oh, Sharon? Excellent. Let me spotlight you. Oh. Okay, the floor is yours, Sharon.
La fuerza está contigo, Sharon.
I'm more of a slow, steady learner.
Yo soy una estudiante como más despaciosa.
And it's taken me a long time to build, feel the trust, increase my
Y
trust.
me ha requerido un tiempo sentir la confianza.
I've always had the willingness, I believe, but I think I was trying too hard at first.
Creo que he tenido la voluntad, pero en un principio yo estaba tratando de esforzarme.
And I see I had so much fear of looking.
Y me di cuenta que tenía mucho miedo de mirar.
And it took a while for that to, for me to overcome that.
Y me requirió un tiempo para mí sobrepasar eso.
But I agree with what Mary said. I've never felt the all-encompassing love before.
Y realmente, como Mary lo decía, como que no tengo, tengo como un concepto errado de lo que es el amor.
That I felt in the light circles, joined with Jesus.
Pero entonces, como este amor ahora que siento en los círculos de luz con Jesús
Or with a mighty companion.
o con los compañeros poderosos.
And then I was asked to be a facilitator.
Y luego me fue pedido ser facilitadora.
And I agreed with much trepidation and fear.
Acepté con bastante miedo y como prevención.
But I persevered through the anxiety.
Y pasé a través de la ansiedad.
And I learned to hold on to Jesus while I facilitated.
Pero aprendí a agarrarme de Jesús cuando yo estaba facilitando.
And know that I don't know what anything is for, but
Y
he
darme cuenta
does.
de que yo no sé para qué son las cosas y que Él sí sabe.
What else?
¿Qué
So,
más?
yes, now I feel more, I have more self-confidence thanks to facilitating and joining.
Y ahora tengo más autoconfianza a través de la facilitación y de las uniones.
And I'm able to apply it in my daily life more.
Y estoy dispuesta a aplicarla en mi vida diaria.
My authority problem has softened.
Mi problema de autoridad es constante.
Where I wouldn't even ask Jesus anything for part of the day.
E incluso algunas veces no le pregunto a Jesús durante el día.
So I'm getting, I'm feeling more confident that I can be closer to Jesus, ask, listen, and follow.
Y ahora me siento más confidente, con mayor confianza de que puedo escuchar y seguir a Jesús.
And I'm very grateful to the Joining in Light Center for the shift that has happened for me in this time.
Y estoy muy agradecida con el Centro Devocional, uniéndonos en la luz por este cambio que ha habido en mí.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you, Sharon. That's so beautiful. We're grateful to have you too.
Gracias, Sharon, por esto y estamos muy agradecidos de tenerte a ti también.
It's such a great gift, to bring the willingness to listen and be a facilitator.
Es grandioso la voluntad de estar dispuesto a escuchar y facilitar.
It's for each of us to go deep, deep into our heart and hear Jesus and develop that relationship.
Es para todos ir profundo, profundo en nuestro corazón y construir esta relación con Jesús.
Does anyone else want to share maybe how Jesus worked with you to have more miracles, how he's helped you?
¿Alguien más quiere compartir quizá cómo Jesús trabaja con ustedes para llevar a cabo milagros?
I just wanted to share something that builds upon what some companions mentioned already tonight, what I've been learning through tuning in to the voice for wholeness.
Lo que he estado aprendiendo a través de afinarme a escuchar esta voz de la completitud
Is that miracles are there when you choose to stay there and not flee or escape.
que los milagros están ahí cuando tú no dudas y no tienes miedo.
Because when we choose distraction or when we choose to be in denial of what is,
O porque cuando estamos distraídos o en negación de lo que es,
we are denying that this is by wishing that it was different or seeing it as a problem.
estamos negando lo que es para buscar lo que es un problema.
So when we choose to stay and be aware of what is,
Y cuando decidimos mantenernos y estar abiertos, dispuestos a lo que es,
our awareness finally sees that the miracle is already there.
nuestra conciencia se da cuenta que el milagro está ahí.
Oh, wow.
Así es.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. That's
Hermoso.
Yeah, that's a miracle to see that the miracle's already there. Thank you.
Eso es un milagro, ver que los milagros están ahí.
Oh my gosh. Anyone else want to share their experiences with Jesus on miracles?
¿Alguien más quiere compartir sus experiencias con Jesús de los milagros?
Okay, Renee.
Thank you. It's just been a deepening of the stillness within.
Esto es una profunda contemplación silenciosa de lo que hay interior.
And seeing the sameness of myself and my brother and Jesus and God.
Y ver la igualdad con mis hermanos, con Jesús, con Dios.
What is he teaching you about miracles, Renee?
¿Qué te ha estado enseñando él acerca de los milagros, René?
It feels like the main thing is humility.
La cosa más importante ha sido la humildad.
and like how I really don't know what that is.
Darme cuenta que en verdad no sé lo que es.
That there has to be the willingness to be 100% dependent on his assistance.
Y aprender a depender 100% de su asistencia, de su ayuda.
And that just involves me being willing to talk to him and ask him.
Eso me lleva a estar hablando con él y preguntarle.
And see that it's not something outside me.
Y ver que no es algo afuera de mí.
It's like a invitation to go in within.
Es como una invitación a ir hacia adentro.
And just kind of, well, not kind of, just let everything drop.
Es como que todo se desvanece.
So even now there's, desired experience to deny the miracle.
Incluso ahora es ver la negación del milagro.
So it's like only his interpretation.
Es como solo su interpretación.
And this is my only function,
Y esa es mi única función.
is to ask him
Es preguntarle
and then speak.
y luego hablar.
And that I don't have to judge
Que no tengo que juzgar
any of it.
nada de ello.
It feels complete for now.
Se siente completo por ahora.
Thank you, Renee.
Gracias,
Thank
René.
you.
Humility is essential for sure.
La humildad es esencial, de
For all of
seguro, para todos nosotros.
Yeah, that's just learning to go naked is like the biggest thing, not judging anything and just give it to me, Jesus. That's my
Es aprender a ir desnudos y no juzgar nada y decirle, Jesús, dámelo.
It's like I can see like it's the fight to not look that's the problem. Once you just sort of say, all right, just give it to me, it's so much easier, but it's all that kerfuffle fighting him over stuff.
Y todo el problema es ese alboroto y por no ir y pedir que no lo dé directo.
That's beautiful. Anyone else would like to share? We love to hear from everyone.
¿Alguien más quiere compartir? Queremos escucharlos a todos.
Sí, yo quiero compartir.
I want to share.
Hermosa. Hola, Isaac.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
Hola, Isaac.
Bueno, lo que quiero compartir es que creo que la importancia de que los milagros no sean intencionados, sino
What I want to share is that the importance that miracles cannot be under my intention, like under my control.
que porque son los milagros a veces cosas muy pequeñas y te sorprende porque aparecen cuando no lo esperas.
And because sometimes miracles are so tiny things that you receive it when you don't expect it.
En pequeñas emociones, pequeñas emociones, pequeños
Small
sentimientos.
emotions, small feelings.
Y que es lento, es un proceso tranquilo.
And it's a long process.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Gracias, Isaac.
Gracias, Isaac.
I still have a little American in me. Okay. Oh my gosh. Kathleen, are you going to share? We're not sure what's on video, but you're unmuted. No, you're not. Kathleen always has really good heaven and hell upside down stories.
Kathleen, ¿vas a compartir? Porque vemos
Yeah.
tu video y Kathleen siempre nos comparte muchas historias donde el cielo y el infierno están invertidos.
Did you have anything you wanted to share, Kathleen, about Jesus and miracles?
¿Quieres compartir algo de Jesús y los milagros, Kathleen?
Well, I didn't feel prompted to speak until about a minute ago.
No había sentido guiada a compartir hasta hace un minuto atrás.
And I feel that in this very instant, the miracle for me was hearing all the splendor and the magnificent light from everybody's heart into mine.
Lo que puedo ver es el milagro, el resplandor de todas las mentes.
I think we're looking at your letterbox.
I think you are too, and I haven't a clue how to switch it. Wait a minute. Am I doing this right?
Yes.
Okay.
Now
Yes. Here it is. Right. All the unpaid bills. Yeah. I just felt like I had a waterfall of amazing love coming from everyone's heart.
Lo que veo es como una gran fuente de amor que viene de todos los corazones de todos los que están aquí presentes.
And it's a reminder.
Y es un recordatorio
that the miracle can be right in this very instant.
Que el milagro puede estar aquí justo en este instante.
And that it feels precious.
Y eso se siente precioso.
And sweet.
Y dulce.
And like a ride on an amusement park, in an amusement park.
Como en un parque de diversiones.
And just thank all of you for just sharing and speaking and being
agradecida con todos por lo que hablan y sus compartires.
Just being so present in the moment. Thank you.
Solo estando presente en el momento. Gracias.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Gracias, Catalina.
Does anyone want to share what helped them decide that they really needed Jesus's help with miracles?
¿Alguien quiere compartir dónde se dieron cuenta que realmente necesitan a Jesús para los milagros?
I have come to a realization
Okay.
goes
Me he dado cuenta de algo,
that no matter how I try to rearrange my life situation,
que no importa cuánto intente reorganizar mi situación, mi vida,
I run into the same invisible iceberg.
Doy vueltas en el mismo iceberg invisible,
That I could look at it from 1,000 perspectives,
que lo puedo ver por desde cientos de perspectivas,
and I could call it by 1,000 names,
y que lo puedo llamar de cientos de nombres,
and it's just this huge mess that I'm confronted with.
pero es una cosa que tengo que confrontar.
And it seems like the only answer
Y parece que la única respuesta
is not to run away and stay
es no correr y mantenerse,
and not distract myself from it,
y no
or
distraerme a mí misma de ello,
create all sorts of narratives in my mind about what this thing is,
o crear todas estas narrativas en mi mente de lo que es esta cosa,
but just be
simplemente
and
es ser.
not engage with it, try to get rid of it, or try to push it away, or try to run away from it.
Y no es tratar de correr de ella, salir corriendo.
And it seems like the only thing that can help me
Parece que
stay,
is what?
the only thing that can help me stay and not run away,
Pero la única cosa que parece que me mantiene, que no me deja salir corriendo,
is stay connected to the love within, the voice
es
for
la,
wholeness,
es la
Jesus.
conexión del amor interior, del amor que es Jesús.
Profundo. It's very profound. Thank you.
Es muy profundo.
That's a good thing to see.
Esa es una muy buena cosa para ver.
Beautiful. Thank you. What a beautiful
Hermoso.
Okay, now let me see if I can. Okay, thank you. Do you feel complete, Deda?
¿Sientes
I think
completo?
that said it all.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's
Sí.
a lot. It's a lot.
Es,
Beautiful.
es hermoso, es bastante.
Okay.
¿Cuál era la pregunta?
Which was the question?
The question was, what convinced you needed Jesus's help for miracles?
¿Qué te convenció de pedirle a Jesús que necesitas que te ayude con milagros?
Que no puedo hacerlo sola.
That, and I see that I cannot do it for my own, by my own.
Durante mucho tiempo he mirado mucho el autoengaño.
I have seen for a lot of time the self diluted,
Self-delusion?
self delusion, yes, foolish.
Sí. Em, sí, hubo veces en que aparentemente yo estaba experimentando la luz y ya me sentía en el cielo divino.
And I had experience where I was feeling like in the light and on heaven.
Y llega el hermano poderoso y a través de Jesús me dice, te estás engañando.
But then Jesus arrived through my married companion and says, "You are foolish in yourself."
Y así en varias experiencias me he dado cuenta que no puedo sola.
And yes, in many experiences I have seen that I cannot do it for myself.
Porque Jesús me ha mostrado que aparte que hay diferentes niveles en la mente,
Because Jesus had shown me that we have many levels in the mind,
aparte la mente está invertida.
and a part of that, the mind is upside down.
Ajá, está al revés. Entonces, por lo tanto, yo muchas veces no sé ni en qué lugar estoy.
And sometimes I cannot see where I am,
O no sé qué deseo tengo que mirar.
or I don't know what desire to look,
Porque el reflejo que estoy viendo allá afuera, que es lo que hay en mi mente,
because the reflection that is in front of me, that is in my mind,
realmente es un espejismo. Necesito preguntarle a Jesús qué hay abajo.
is an illusion. What I am seeing is an illusion, and I need to ask Jesus what is underneath.
Entonces, esta práctica se ha vuelto común, muy común.
So this practice has now is so frequently for me,
Porque lo que veo no es lo que hay adentro.
because what I see in the decor is not what is inside.
Y Jesús sabe mejor que yo.
And Jesus knows better than me.
Esa sería mi respuesta.
That will be my answer.
Thank you, Lena.
Gracias, Lina.
¿Puedo responder también?
Can I answer that question too?
Sure. Who is that?
Isaac.
Isaac.
Isaac? Okay. Let me.
Ajá, bueno, me he dado cuenta en las preguntas, cuando pregunto a Jesús, ¿qué es lo que debo de sanar en mi mente? La respuesta que me da es diferente a la que yo había pensado.
What I can see is when I ask Jesus what desire to look, always his answer is different what I thought.
Y me dice cosas completamente diferentes a las que yo pensé que debería de sanar en ese momento. Y por eso
He tell
entiendo
me
que necesito su ayuda.
he tell me different things that different what I think I need to look. So that's why I realized that I need his help because I don't know.
Gracias.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Gracias.
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. So beautiful. Wow. So much love.
Mucho amor, eso es hermoso.
Thank you, Lena.
Gracias, Lina.
Yeah, if anyone would like to, because some of you came and didn't feel like you could speak to Jesus, and how do you feel about the joinings deepening your relationship with him through your brother? It's so beautiful.
Algunas personas han llegado aquí pensando que no podían hablar, escuchar a Jesús, pero esto Jesús los ha llevado profundo. eh,
Can I say something in relation to that?
Okay.
So
¿Algo con relación a eso?
I find that I am able to hear Jesus' love and the voice for wholeness when I experience stillness.
Me doy cuenta que puedo escuchar la voz de Jesús y la voz de la plenitud cuando me aquieto.
And there are many times as I go about my daily life
Y que hay muchas cosas durante el día
that it feels like an earthquake inside me, and it feels like there is so much tremor in my mind and everything. The tectonic plates are constantly shifting.
siento que hay como un terremoto en mi vida, como una bomba atómica, algo así.
And it's typically in these moments of communion when I'm part of
Y, y eso sucede típicamente cuando estoy en comunión.
it's when I feel stillness and inner peace, and I can listen to the voice for love.
Y en esos momentos es que puedo aquietarme y escuchar la voz del amor.
And when in life situations I feel like I'm separate, the illusion of separateness and disconnect,
Y cuando me siento desconectada de esta vida durante mi vida,
that's when that internal earthquake, it really feels like the tectonic plates are shifting. And I feel like because there's so much noise, like I get disconnected from the voice.
cuando hay todo este ruido, terremoto interno, este temblor, es cuando me siento desconectada de la voz.
And I get the illusion that I cannot hear the voice of Jesus.
Y entonces me engaño de que no puedo escuchar la voz de Jesús.
But I'm so grateful for these light circles and feelings of communion in my life, any opportunity that gives me the feeling of communion.
Pero estoy muy agradecida con estos círculos de luz y de sentir la Santa Comunión.
And that's when I can truly connect to the voice and feel stillness.
Y es ahí donde puedo conectar en verdad con la voz y sentir la quietud.
Yeah, very beautiful. Wow, thank you so much. That's the service to each other, that we can be at service to God with each other. Wow. How about that
Eso
job?
¿qué tal ese trabajo de estar en servicio unos a otros compartiendo esta voz? Eso
Yeah.
es nuestro trabajo.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you for
Eso es
sharing.
muy hermoso. Gracias. Gracias por compartirlo.
Convincing. I just had to see the death wish, like how I wanted the desire more than God.
Lo que puedo ver es el deseo de la muerte, cómo lo quiero más que a Dios.
That it was everything to me. It was my happiness, my heaven.
Que eso era todo para mí, mi felicidad, mi cielo.
And that was a decision that I was making.
Y que eso fue una decisión que yo estaba tomando.
And that I could choose. I
Y
could
que yo
choose
puedo elegir.
to see that it has no value and just completely hand it over to Jesus and let him take it.
Y que ya no tenía más valor para mí y entregárselo a Jesús.
And really it's still occurring. I'm still seeing desires. I'm still looking at those.
Y aún mantenerme mirando estos deseos.
So it's just like this encouragement to keep joining.
Es como este continuo invitación a mantenernos uniéndonos.
That it is guaranteed 100%
Que garantiza al 100%
that supreme happiness is like what I am. It's not something. It's not.
que la suprema felicidad es lo que yo soy, que no es algo aparte.
So, Renee, what is Jesus saying? Because the death wish is a good one to look at with Jesus.
Y Jesús, ¿qué dice acerca de este deseo de la muerte?
Yeah.
And what is he saying the secondary gain is? What benefit do you think you're getting by that? Does he say?
¿Qué beneficio estás obteniendo? ¿Qué dice él? ¿Qué beneficio secundario estás obteniendo?
Well, it seems to always be this contrast of the usurping the power of God, that I'm going to get power.
Es esta creencia de que puedo usurpar el poder de Dios, que puedo obtener poder a través de esto.
Well, you can try this one on.
Okay.
This is good for everybody. You guys, we're
Yay.
going for it on the death wish.
Vamos todos en este deseo de la muerte.
Jesus, do
Jesús,
I think all my happiness comes from the death wish?
Jesús, creo que toda mi felicidad viene del deseo de la muerte.
Yes.
Sí.
So
That's-
this,
yeah.
yeah.
Where it's flipped is that happiness is through killing the light out of awareness.
Y porque creo que la felicidad viene de expulsar la luz de la conciencia.
Well, it's helpful to focus with Jesus just on the pure, because it really can't be turned around in our awareness that we're blocking the light. I mean, it just,
Okay.
it can only be at the level of Jesus,
Mhm.
at the level of where there's value in it. You see, that's where we have to go to with him. Here's where I'm valuing this. Am I valuing, is this happiness? Do I think all my happiness that I've ever had comes from the death wish?
Yes.
Entonces creo que toda mi felicidad viene de este deseo de la muerte.
Yes.
Sí.
Mm.
You know, and that's what we really want to, well, you ask them what to do next, but what I'm hearing is where you just, okay, show me the relishing. That's where we get into the, the Gollum going, I just love this experience of death.
Yeah.
Es ver que te muestre dónde amas esta experiencia
And
de
I
la
like it
muerte.
so much. I like it so much that I think every bit of happiness I have ever had in my life comes from this.
Lo amo, que creo que cada pedazo de felicidad que yo he recibido en esta vida ha venido de ello.
See, this is why it's so helpful. Maybe someone else can share a story too about flipping that heaven and hell thing upside down with Jesus. That's why it's so helpful because we can't see the glue that we're using to hold the block that miracle.
Quizás sea útil ver cómo tenemos invertido el cielo y el infierno, porque es como algo que como algo pegajoso que nos mantiene pegados ahí.
See, the Course in Miracles will remain a concept in the mind until we really get the choice to turn heaven and hell upside down and experience relishing that hell because we think it's heaven.
Y el curso de milagros nos lleva a que tenemos que ir hasta darnos cuenta dónde tenemos el cielo y el infierno invertidos.
You know, where we start seeing the divine power to cease to choose that and trick ourselves into thinking that's the way to get salvation through death.
Y ver que nosotros elegimos eso, que creemos que obtenemos la salvación a través de la muerte.
It is death to light, but we're so disconnected to light that we have to look at it one fragment at a time as he delivers it. Here's the fragment, here's the denial, here's the glue you're using because you think death is happiness.
Y ver, no podemos darnos cuenta que estamos queriendo eliminar la luz de la conciencia, sino es que tenemos que ir por fragmentos y ver que estamos pegados a esos fragmentos.
You know, and when we're willing to just, okay, give me that, because it's just energy. It's tension. Our pipes are clogged by the decision to clog the pipe of the miracle. So it creates this tension and then just show it to me without judgment. Go ahead, give it to me.
Porque todos estos deseos son tensión y simplemente le decimos, Jesús, muéstramelo, dámelo.
But for me, that heaven and hell upside down thing, to see how much pleasure in the play of consciousness, that for me, like just being able to be willing to see that, it's like my partnership with Jesus, like that sealed the deal. I mean, I was willing to talk to him, but when I saw how quickly he could get his finger on that point if I was willing.
Para mí fue muy importante llegar al punto de ver con Jesús donde tenía esto invertido, porque era como el punto donde él quería mostrarme qué tan dispuesta estaba a ver.
And for me, that's when I could see as I would work with him, and that's where it became a night and day thing. Show me, just that energy, because it becomes very transactional at that point. He pinpoints me wanting it and just, okay, give it and let the wanting express.
Y eso se convirtió en un trabajo de noche y día, donde yo le decía, dámelo, y era como un tema un ping-pong, donde él me mostraba y yo tenía la disposición.
It's like something locked down in my mind that I knew I needed that help from the voice of wholeness or Jesus. Then it's like I'm just hanging on with every bit of that I could, to show me, see, because then you can move into happy learner.
Y fue como un punto donde yo me cerré, donde a él y me convertí en un aprendiz feliz.
But we have to see that heaven and hell upside down, because the next minute we forget, the next little fragment, it's like, oh, that's still precious.
Tenemos que darnos cuenta del tema de dónde tenemos invertido el cielo y el infierno, porque nos solemos olvidarlo al siguiente momento, creemos que esto es precioso.
But as soon as I understood like Andy's pointing to the level of precision that he could show, here it is, and if I didn't value it anymore, then it's a straight shot to the miracle. See?
Y Andy también lo trajo al punto porque se requiere mucho nivel de precisión y ese nivel de precisión lo da él.
But everyone's starting to talk about this. This is so valuable, is starting to see, oh, I'm choosing it and I need not choose this anymore. This is just, it's the course.
Esto es muy valioso, darme cuenta que yo lo estoy eligiendo y que debo elegir, no elegirlo más. Eso es el curso.
To start to grasp in your mind the power of ceasing to choose to delude ourselves. This is just beautiful.
Ver el poder que está en nuestra mente de dejar de negarnos. Eso es hermoso. Dejar de negar.
So the willingness is beautiful to look at. All right, I thought that was all the happiness I could ever have is there. And then it's,
La voluntad de ver es muy importante porque creemos que toda nuestra felicidad viene de ello.
It's like I relish, I can find pleasure in all the times I said no to looking at it.
Es como que obtengo placer de decir no a mirar eso.
well, you don't, he's just going to show you, if you go willing and naked, right? I'm not going to judge it. I'm not doing any decisions other than ceasing to value it. That's my job. My job is to cease to value this.
Pero si vas totalmente desnuda, sin juicios y dejas de simplemente dejar de valorarla.
See, it's a decision to place no value on the valueless.
Es la decisión de dejar, de no darle valor a lo que no tiene valor.
So he shows you where you're placing value, and we change our mind. I'm not going to value that anymore. And then you just lie down and relish the tar out of it. As much, Jesus, will you take me all the way?
Es simplemente que Él te muestre los lugares donde estás valorando esto y decirle, Jesús, muéstramelo y tirarte recostarte a disfrutarlo.
See, he changes us from, I'm determined to see.
Él cambia estoy determinado a ver,
To, I am determined to see.
por estoy determinado a ver.
I'm determined.
Sí, estoy determinada.
Yep.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Renee.
Gracias, René.
Holy Spirit, heal my mind.
Espíritu Santo, sana mi mente.
Oh my God. Oh my God. All you're going to discover is how powerful you are, as made by God. That's it. Okay.
Todo lo que vas a descubrir es lo poderoso que eres, hecho por Dios.
So anyone else have a share? Any shares about heaven and hell upside down? Those are always good.
¿Alguien quiere compartir más acerca de dónde tenemos el infierno y el cielo invertidos? Eso es uno muy bueno para ver.
So here's my question for you too, because a lot of beings ask this question. How did you start learning in the light circles to tell Jesus's voice from the voice of the ego? Because remember, you're starting to learn yes and no. Anyone have any shares on that?
Which question is that one? Okay.
The one about how did you start to distinguish Jesus's voice from the ego voice?
¿Cómo has aprendido a distinguir entre la voz de Jesús y la voz del ego? Que esta es una muy buena para compartir, que la compartimos en los círculos de luz, que estamos aprendiendo a escuchar el sí y el no.
Or the voice of wholeness that
la voz de la plenitud.
For me, it's as simple as a distinction between fear and peace.
Para mí es tan simple como la distinción entre el miedo y la paz.
It's
A
beautiful.
little
Is
bit.
it?
behind.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
sorry.
pointing to decision. Oh, somebody else is sharing too. Do you feel complete, Teta, on that? That's beautiful. Okay, let me
Eso es hermoso. ¿Te sientes completa en eso, Tera?
Okay, now someone else spoke. I'm not sure who.
Alguien habló, no estoy segura de quién.
Did someone else want to share? Because
¿Alguien más
Josie,
quiere
one-
compartir?
With me. Oh,
Yo sí.
I apologize. I didn't mean to interrupt Ted. I thought she was done.
Okay. Well, I think Mary can share. If something comes in, please share it, Josie, you know. Every one of you is so valuable.
Cada uno de ustedes es muy valioso. Parece que me arriba a compartir, pero yo sí, si sientes que quieres compartir, todo es muy valioso.
The ego is going to try to talk you out of speaking the voice for God, but that's your voice.
El ego va a querer que no hables la voz de Dios, pero esa es tu voz.
So what I began to distinguish is that there was a talking head that sounded good,
Y lo que he comenzado a distinguir es que hay una voz que habla,
that had a lot to say.
que tiene mucho que decir.
And then there was this concise, clear, kind of quiet voice that was to the point with nothing else.
Y luego viene esta voz que es calmada, clara, es una voz concisa, que no es lo que, sí, es que es nuevo.
And the experience of each voice was quite different, very different.
Y la experiencia de cada voz es bastante diferente.
The ego voice always had kind of a nervousness to it.
Y la voz del ego es como una voz nerviosa.
And often already knows.
Y usualmente cree que sabe.
Whereas when I'm hearing the voice of God clearly,
Y cuando estoy escuchando claramente la voz de Dios, claramente,
there's a precision and an authority about it that I cannot deny.
hay una precisión de esta voz que no puedo negar.
And it's not something that's alien or, forceful.
Y no es algo extraño o que me force.
It comes out of a deep part of my mind
y viene de una parte profunda de mi mente.
that cannot be denied.
Que no puede ser negada.
There's something so qualitatively different
Es algo cualitativamente diferente.
that until I was willing to see the contrast,
Hasta que estuve dispuesta como a ver este contraste.
I had no idea what the voice of God was like.
No sabía cómo era la voz de Dios.
And it's not something you go around talking about.
Y no es una cosa de que tú vayas y estés hablando acerca de ello.
In the moment, I'm asking for help and I'm willing to speak what I'm hearing.
Es algo que pasa en el momento y que yo estoy dispuesta a escuchar y estoy dispuesta a hablar.
As Teta said, I'm very willing to be still.
Como Terra lo decía, estoy muy dispuesta a estar aquí, a aquietarme.
And also, I can't remember who talked about this, but in the joining circles,
E incluso en los círculos de luz, no sé quién habló de esto,
when my brother shares,
cuando mis hermanos comparten.
there's a qualitative difference between that which is shared
Hay una marcada diferencia entre lo que ellos comparten,
that there's a part of the wholeness that is recognized,
que hay una parte de mí que reconoce esa plenitud
and there's no question about it.
y no hay cuestionamiento acerca de ello.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Beautiful. Wow.
Gracias, Mary. Muy hermoso.
Yeah. Everyone's such a stunning. It's like you don't even know when you're sharing sometimes what's coming out of your mouth. It's so stunning. We have to get used to it.
Es asombroso lo que surge cuando ustedes comparten. Ustedes tienen que verlo. Tienen que acostumbrarse a eso.
You know, how beautiful it is, how it's like a song coming from you. And it's like an adjustment to the song of God singing through you.
Es como una canción que surge de ustedes. Es como un ajuste en una canción que se canta a través de ustedes.
I mean, it's the whole course in a package. Everything Jesus asked for us, this joining is that commitment to that. It's very beautiful.
Es todo lo que se dice en el curso. Y estas uniones es el compromiso a llevarlo a cabo.
And just really, it will only become more clear with practice.
Y aprendemos a ser más claros a través de la práctica.
But what I would say about it, if you're not speaking out yet in the circles, just go ahead and just really go deep and trust so you can practice and it'll get more comfortable.
Y lo pueden hacer en los círculos de luz, ir más profundo y comenzar a acostumbrarnos a hablar esta voz.
Everyone who's here is called to speak their natural voice of wholeness.
Todos los que están aquí están invitados a compartir esta voz, la voz de la plenitud.
Does anyone else have anything they would like to share?
¿Hay alguien más que quiera compartir algo?
Lena, did you feel complete? Because it sounded like there was something else you might have wanted to share earlier.
Lina, ¿te sientes completa? Porque parecía que había algo más que querías compartir hace rato.
She's listo? Okay.
Que está.
Lista. It's so holy. Thank you for your devotion to God together.
Esto es muy santo. Gracias por su devoción a Jesús juntos.
You know, in the commitment to stay with it, because the ego is going to do everything it can to get you out of these light circles, I'll tell you.
Les puedo decir que el ego va a hacer todo para que ustedes estén fuera de estos círculos de luz.
Because as soon as you're really starting to hear that voice and speak that voice and follow that voice, game over.
Porque inmediatamente ustedes comiencen a escuchar esa voz, a hablar esa voz, seguir esa voz, es juego finalizado para el ego.
It really is putting a stake in the ground and claiming the kingdom for yourself.
Es como enterrar una estaca en el piso y decir y reclamar el reino de Dios.
So thank you, Jesus,
Gracias, Jesús,
for bringing us the best mighty companions ever.
por traernos a los mejores compañeros poderosos sí,
We love you.
los amamos.
Mucho amor. Oh, we don't have the lights on over there.